bringing you the best Eagles basketball coverage. This is Screecher Report.
What's up, and welcome into the Screecher Report podcast. We have Russell Kelly here on the mic. We are joined by Elliott Cressy.
Yes, this is Elliott. We are also joined by special random guest that we just found in the stands, Trey Richards III. Trey, say hello to the fan group.
Hello, Screechers.
Trey is an alumni. He's a buddy of mine. He came to the game. He's been to a few games. He likes sports. And he's going to provide some random insight.
Yeah, but we forgot about Trey. So let's get back to FGCU basketball. Yeah. Well, some people probably like some 90s hip-hop. Anyway, we're here. We just finished the game, fourth game of conference season, FGCU against University of North Florida, that other team in Florida. But before we really dive into this really fun, dominant game, spoiler alert, we haven't done a pod since the last game of non-con. So we opened up conference season against Jacksonville at home. It was a really fun game. We were down a lot of the game. I think we were down by 18 or something like that. In the last 10 minutes of that game, we just took over and ended up getting a really nice win, playing like we know we could and should. The game after that was Central Arkansas, which was, again, another sort of nail-biter game. We were down when we shouldn't have been down. Trading the lead quite a few times. It seems like every time we play Central Arkansas, each team has the lead like 20 different times. But this one was highlighted by, looks like we had no business to win with the time winding down, and Caleb Cato just throws up a three like we know he can do, gets fouled in the process. It goes in. He gets an extra shot for a 4-point play, and they go to overtime. We end up winning. Game after that was Austin P that just happened a couple days ago. That was very frustrating because it was kind of the same as the last couple games, right? Slow start, looking like booty, and we finally get our footing and start playing well, but it's just like it finally, one of those games didn't go our way. We ended up losing by just a point, I think, or a point or two. I don't have it in front of me, but yeah, it was a really close loss. Really, I don't want to say a good game because both teams kind of played bad, but exciting, entertaining game. But now we're here for that fourth game of the conference season. Both teams, UNF and FGCU, were 2-1 in conference play heading into the game. Of course, UNF every single year, their non-con is full of, hey, let's go play Gonzaga, let's play Kentucky, let's play all these powerhouses. Like the entire schedule is made up of that, and they just get walloped. And every now and then they'll beat one of them. But it's always hard to get a read on how good a UNF team is because of that. They're playing such good competition that it's like you don't really know how good they are because, of course, they're not going to win most of those games. So tonight, well, who knows if they were on their game or not because we dominated essentially throughout. I've been talking too much, so I'm going to let Elliott take over. Just thoughts on the game. I guess not too much detail yet because we could just gush for hours about how good this was, but thoughts on the game, what do you think coming in, and what do you think now that it's over?
So, yeah, I mean, great game. I got to mention this. I know you don't want to talk about it because you're superstitious, but every time we have a loss, we turn it around and usually, I mean, we have come out with the dub. So tonight was expected to win. I didn't expect the blowout like it was. I think 10 minutes into the first half, I looked at you and said, this is a blowout, and it ended up being a blowout the whole time. Just to touch on North Florida, they played Austin P and won in overtime, and this just goes to show you that college basketball is college basketball. Like any given night, doesn't matter how good the team is. Like Austin P, when we played them, we thought it was going to be a guaranteed W because they haven't had a great start to the year, but it doesn't matter. Stetson beat North Florida only by 6, and Stetson's looking like right now like one of the top conference teams. They're 3-0. I don't know if they played tonight or not, but prior to tonight they were 3-0. And North Florida also beat Kennesaw State. So mixed bag. And, we almost beat North Florida tonight by 30. So is that kind of like coming off a loss, we're ready to blow them out, or are we just that much better of a team and we just have struggled last game against Austin P. Either way, I thought it was a very good game overall. Trey, as a fan, alumni, who impressed you tonight?
Caleb Cato. He's the player I knew from back when I was in school, and so I was really excited to see him hit a couple threes. I got really excited when I saw that. Got to meet him in the post game. It was almost meeting an idol right there. So he's definitely the one who impressed me the most.
Your boy had 8 points, 5 rebounds, 3 assists, a block. That's kind of his game, right? He could score 20, but it doesn't happen all the time. He always fills the sheet with other things. The thing to really note about his game tonight: 3 for 3 from the floor, 2 for 2 from downtown. Just clean, right? He didn't mess up. He just the guy who can get you something when you need it. That's just who he is. One thing I want to do, because I think with a blowout like this, it's easy to sort of forget things that happened because there's just so much to talk about. So I got some game notes. Just observations from the game as it went on. So we're going to go through that real quick. At 19:37 left in the first half, there was the obligatory shot clock issue for an FGCU game. There seems to be at least one every game. So we had that only about 23 seconds into the game. So that was good. Get it out of the way. And I made an observation, you and I both did, how just kind of skinny, lanky the UNF bigs seemed to be. And you kind of knew that Andre Weir was going to, hopefully, and he did, really take advantage of the size advantage that he had down low on those bigs. You could see it that was going to happen early. I said at 19:05 left in the first half, Weir is manhandling those UNF bigs. His rebounding numbers were he had 5 in a minute because he kept rebounding his own misses. 16:42 left in the first half. I noted how just ugly the game was for a stretch there. Nobody was doing anything, just turnover after turnover. At 15:15 left in the first half, Zach Anderson with a grown man's rebound. I remember he put his arm up in front of somebody and just corralled it right into his body like it should not have been his rebound, but he did it clean, no foul, no anything. 11 minutes left in the first half. Oh, it was a Franco Miller checking out of the game. Dude played a bunch of really good defense tonight. He doesn't always show up in the stat sheet, but okay, he did have a couple of steals, but it's just he's on the guy's ball handler, obviously. Doesn't let anybody around him. Hustles. He just does so much, and his efficiency, his plus minus was fantastic today. So that's really, I guess, how you can measure that. 10:40 left in the first half. Cato made a super unselfish pass to Isaiah Thompson, who cashed it in with a 3. Also, that was the exact moment that Elliott here said, hey, this is a blowout. And I do want to note that right after he said that is when UNF started coming back. They scored 7 straight points. Although in this game, scoring 7 straight points is nothing because we scored 23 straight. And I'll go to my second half notes. I made one of them. We're dominating this game. That was it. So those are our game notes from a blowout. I mean, it's so. I guess Elliot, you got stats pulled up?
Yeah.
Okay, Elliot, just give us some stats. I know Weir had a great game. I know Isaiah Thompson had some points. I think he had a nice rebounds, a couple assists. Who stood out? Who are the guys who kind of flew under the radar? I know Cyrus had an interesting stat line. It was good to see him back in the starting lineup. Always plays good defense and hustles.
Yeah, it was good to see everyone get involved in this game. We got to see action from Lenny Ricca, Austin Ritchie, Sam Onu, who has been a little bit quiet to the start this year. Franco Miller had some nice minutes. But yeah, you said it, Andre Weir, 18 points, 15 boards. I mean, what more can you ask for? That's a monster game. I just, the last game against Austin P was kind of an outlier, I think. Whether it was just bad shot selection or just shots not going in. This looks like the team that we know. They came back firing on all cylinders. I really don't have much more to comment other than I'm extremely impressed by the quick turnarounds that we have when we do lose. Something happens with the team, whether it's Coach Chambers talking to the guys, the rest of the assistant coaches getting in their heads, the guys themselves ready to make a turnaround. we're ready to go the next game, and that's all you can ask for. I mean, to not have a losing streak at all, other than one game, is incredible. So I know it's conference play. We're going to lose one here and there. You know, no matter how good the conference teams are, they're always going to give their best, especially when FGCU prior to this game was at the top. And we've always been the one to beat. So, yeah, other than that, good all-around game. I mean, we shot 51%, which is awesome. 40% from three. Our free throws were terrible, but we only shot 7 of them. But 29%. That's got to go. Rebounds were huge, and Mr. Weir had most of those. But we out-rebounded UNF 46-28. Out-assisted them 20-8. Turnovers were 14. Didn't seem to affect us too much. But, yeah, UNF led by 1, and that was probably in the opening 60 seconds. And our biggest lead of the night was 36. So, good game, good crowd. Students weren't all back yet, but the students that were there were giving UNF hell. Trey, you going to come back to some more games?
Of course. It was awesome. Good coming back. Felt like back in my prime coming back here.
So when did you graduate, and who were the players you saw when you were at school?
I graduated in 22, so just last year. And when I was a freshman in 2017, we had Brandon Goodwin. He's obviously the star. But then we also had Zach Johnson, and then my boy Caleb Cato.
Cato.
Sorry, man.
It's easy to do. That's it for me.
Yeah, the last note I have is 7 guys on the team today scored 8 or more points. That's just dominance when that happens, right? I mean, even if they all only scored 8 points, like the math adds up to almost how much you should score in a game in college basketball, but obviously it's not the case. 18 from Weir, 15 from Thompson, 11 from Largy, and Chase Johnston. So it was just a good game. We've said enough about that. It's good. And, you're right. It's the bounce back ability of this team is I think what, at least at this point in the season, is kind of separating how good this team is this year than how good it was, say, last year, or even in the past, years before that when we were good. It did always kind of seem that when we lose, it's like, oh, well, the next couple games are kind of shaky, and then we'll get back to form. This has been just an immediate turnaround, and that's good to see. But anyway, we're recording this on the night of the game, Saturday, January 7th. This pod will be available to you on Sunday, January 8th.
Bold.
Yeah, it's a lot of editing responsibility here. Just in time, let it sit for a few days before the next game is Thursday. So Eastern Kentucky on Thursday. Anyways, thanks for listening. As always, this is Russell Kelly on the mic, Elliott Cressy. You can follow us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, at Screecher Report, or some form of that. Reddit, 4chan, MySpace. You can fax us, send us a telegram. Everyone have a great night. Go Eagles. Yeehaw. Screech on. Love you. Bye.